The charm bracelet is definitely a fun idea with some really lovely animation, but I don't love the charm selection. This is a Phantasy's cartoon released in 1939. It's from Screen Gems. It's directed by Manny Gould and written by Harry Love, with a voice cast including Sara Berner and Mel Blanc. And it's rather adorable because Scrappy gives little Margie a charm bracelet, this giant parcel for this little charm bracelet. And Margie goes to bed and the charms come to life. Fantastic idea. Something I've mentioned countless times. I'm a big, big fan of cartoons where inanimate objects come to life. I think it's such a fun concept and generally works really well. And it did work well here. The animation is really good. But for me, what I felt didn't work as well is the selection of charms on the bracelet. I just feel like they wouldn't be charms that Scrappy would give to Margie. Now, I could be mistaken. Maybe this is actually based on somebody's genuine charm bracelet, and if that's the case, then I will retract that statement. But personally, I don't think the charm selection was very good. And that means that I wasn't really buying into this narrative as much as I could have done. I think it was very much, and I could be wrong, but I feel like it was a case of what do the animators want to animate today? And I have to say, putting them on a charm bracelet is a way to be very creative because, in theory, they could literally animate anything because technically there could be a charm for absolutely anything. Certainly today, maybe not so much in the 30s, but certainly it meant that there was a lot of scope for the kind of charms to include. And as I said, I just didn't think it was the best selection. The dog, I liked. I thought the dog worked very well. The monkeys I didn't completely buy into, but I did like how they were animated. I think it's a really nice touch to have the little, I don't know what the proper term is, but the little loop on the top that the charm is clasped with. I thought that was a really nice touch. But the rest of the charms didn't really appeal to me. There was one, there was a like a grandfather clock, but obviously that didn't really do much. The ones that came to life were the ones that were animals in it, and they would be alive if they weren't charms, if that makes sense. That's a terrible way of explaining it, but you know what I mean. Things that had, well, that's it. I was going to say things that had faces came to life, but the grandfather clock technically has a face. You know what I mean. So I didn't love the charm selection, but a couple of them I did. A couple of them were okay. But in general, it works very well, and the animation is really good. The pacing is brilliant, and it's a really sweet idea. So it wasn't as great as I'd hoped, but I still enjoyed it, and I would recommend it. If you're a fan of cartoons where inanimate objects come to life, or if you're just looking for a really sweet narrative, then the Charm Bracelet from Screen Gems is one that I would recommend.